Hello, welcome back to Rev Endurance Sports and a follow-up video on the Lake shoe product review. What I did in a previous video, actually there's two videos, I need to link them on there. What I did on the previous videos is I unboxed this 403 and a couple of other shoes for my customers. Then I came back and talked about the molding process and sizing process. And now this is the third video because, well, the saga continues with trying to get this thing dialed in. But before we get to the subject of the day, if you would please, if you like the content and you think it's worthy of YouTube or your friends finding out about it, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you know when I've posted another video. Okay, so let's get into what's been my experience now with the Lake Cycling Shoes, and in particular the 403, the CX403, which is their high-end road shoe, and they call it the Race Last. So, I in a previous video have gone through the diagram that I made with the trace outline of my foot and all the measurements that I took. And the details are hazy now, and it's not that important because, you know, once you put the shoe on, that's really what matters, right? But this is a 45 and a half. And so if I look here at the sizing for the 45 and a half, you know, it calls it a size 12, and I kind of didn't know, and excuse my air conditioning, it's a little bit warm here in San Diego, even though it is October the 29th, we're probably in the 80s today. But so excuse the noise, and hopefully you can still hear me. But the 45 and a half says US 12, and I thought, God, that sounds strange, but I looked at the width of the shoe, which is 100, sorry. And the width of the shoe seemed fine for my foot, and then the length, based on the measurements I took, seemed fine as well. But after riding it for a little bit, actually there was one thing. When I first got the shoe, there was a pressure point right here where the cloth, or where the material part and the carbon ends and the material part begins. And I heated that up several times and was able to move it out, and became more comfortable. But I still felt like the shoe was a little bit big, a little bit sloppy in my opinion, when sprinting, getting out of the saddle. So I took the plunge and ordered another pair of Lake shoes, and this one in a 45. So if you look at the width, it only goes down 1 millimeter from 100 millimeter width to 99. But what I found was more important to me was on the length. For the 45 and a half, I was at the beginning of that size range because they say 286.5 to 290 millimeters. But I was at the end of the 45 range because they're very close to each other, 286 and 286.5. And I thought, might as well err to the larger size, right? You'd want more room. But it ended up being too much room. So believe it or not, the 4 millimeters from a 286 max size for this one to the max size of this one is 290. So that's 4 millimeters. It makes a big difference. I am way more comfortable, more properly supported in this shoe in the 45 than I am in the 45 and a half. Now, this is kind of an indication also, I think, when I would lace up the shoes, and of course it's a boa, but you get the idea. I felt on this shoe that I was closing it pretty close to the end of it, and that kind of led me to believe that there was just maybe too much material up here, and this just fits better in just about every way, length, width. Now, interesting thing is, this shoe, just like my 45.5, this shoe had that pane. It's easier if I show you on this one. That pane right there, and only on my right foot. So this little ridge here, this is all moldable carbon right on the edge. So I'm going to pull back this material so you can see it. Right? So at the very edge of this, you can mold that. You obviously can't do anything with the carbon tub as you mold, right? So I had the same issue on the chameleon green shoe, which was right here. I had this pain. So I mentioned before that with the purple shoe, I tried several times to heat it up based on their instructions, and 4 minutes, and then 5 minutes, and then increasing the temperature, and then eventually I just got one of these guys here. So regardless of what your oven electronically may read, I don't know, for some reason I like simple things, and I just find this to be more reliable than a something electronic. So I got the oven thermometer, and then I molded this shoe just a little bit. Actually, I didn't have to do anything to the left, but the right, the same spot, both shoes, 45.5 and a 45, same spot. So I don't know, maybe my right foot near the top is fatter than my left foot. So a couple of more things that I want to share with you as I've had more and more time of riding these shoes. My cameraman was trying on these shoes earlier today, and he brought up a point that I thought I haven't talked about yet. So typically, if you buy leather shoes, you expect them to stretch a little bit. You expect them maybe to mold a little bit more to your foot over time. All of our feet, when we walk, and cycling's a different motion, but when we walk, our shoes, you can look at them next to someone else's shoes, and they just look different, right? Because they've just, the way you've walked in them. But these shoes, there's not going to be much stretch to them, right? So one of the stories I always tell is people are pretty fanatical about their CD shoes, and they'll have them for 10, 15 years and walk in here and I mean, they look like bathroom slippers by the time they come in to get a new pair of shoes, because they've just collapsed. They don't have any structural integrity anymore. But this shoe, because it is carbon all the way up to here, you're not going to have that area where that material that will hang over the outsole. It's just not going to happen. This is all going to be supported for a long time. So if you're thinking, well, I'll probably, this shoe will stretch out and it'll probably fit me better over time, that's not the case. I don't see that happening. I've had these shoes for a few months now, and I ride a lot, and I put a lot of hours each time that I ride, and there is no visible sign or even physical sign that they're giving in any way. So I wanted to talk about that. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that I had a little tumble on the first day I rode these shoes. So I was very, very sad. But the lip on a driveway, the little transition between the the gutter and the lip of the driveway. I was looking ahead. I was looking in front of another rider, or the rider in front of me. I was looking ahead of her, to this bike path that we were entering, and there was logs in the way, and I just got distracted just for a nanosecond, and that's all it takes. And boom, I went down at 2 miles an hour. and I re-injured my elbow, which I've dislocated in the past, and you can see it's still pretty swollen, and that was last Saturday. Today is Friday, so it's almost been a week. But you know, these things happen, so be aware of those driveway lips into shopping centers. You know, wherever you're going, they're out there, they're ready to snatch you up. But yeah, I already scraped them up, which, you know, first day out riding, a $550 pair of shoes, and you scrape them up. But okay, so that's that. I think that's all. And just yesterday, I had someone pop into the store who has been watching my YouTube videos, saw the lake videos. I think I'm the only dealer in San Diego County that sells lake shoes. And San Diego County is pretty big. It's almost the size of the state of Rhode Island, in case you didn't know. Little trivia fact. It's like 60-something miles north and south and 80-something miles east and west. So it's a very, very big county. Anyway, he popped in to the store because he'd been watching my videos, and he has purchased some lake shoes and wanted some help with them. So that's great. I'm getting to meet some of you in person, not just communicating over comments and things like that. So if you folks have any questions for me, please drop them down below. I will also put my social media contacts and all that stuff, so you can get a hold of me in that way. And well, I think that's all for now. So please like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and in the meantime, we'll see you up the road.